Okay, so the next thing I learned in Python is very important, and that's functions. And functions basically just let you package up your code and use them some other place and as many times as you want. So to define a function, put def, the name of the function, and you put two brackets. Let's leave them empty for now. I'll tell you what they do later, but here is where you type what your function will do. So okay, so I want this function to be able to tell me if I am old enough to drive. Okay, so age equals 0 if age bigger than 16, and let's return true. And if else, return false. Now, right now, if I just run this, it will do nothing. So let's run this. Look, no result. That's because I'm not running the function, I just defined it. So that's a very important thing to learn. I learned that. So to run it, I just type in the name of the function and the brackets at the end. And then run it. Oh yeah, I gotta print it. Let's run again. False. So because I'm 0 years old, I'm not old enough to drive. But let's look at these brackets. Now, what are these brackets for? Now, brackets can let you pass in variables. So let's say I have a variable already called age, or let's say 13, and I want this to check if this variable is old enough to drive. So then I will put in here age, and put in here age. So then this variable can be equal to anything that I pass through. But in this case, I'm passing in this variable. So let's run again. Still false. If I'm 17, true. So sometimes I can be lazy, and I don't always want to give this function a variable when I run it. Sometimes I just want to run it and see what happens. So in that case, I have to give the function a default value. So up here when I'm defining it, let's just say the default value is 0. So now, if I don't give anything, the function will return false because the age will be 0. See? But if I pass in age, then it will be true. Nice. Okay, so I've written some code here. This is what I did when I was just testing out functions. So functions are quite useful because, well, you can package them and use them wherever you want, as many times as you want. And it's useful if you don't want to write the same code over and over again. So here, I'm actually running the function, and I'm using it to test. So I've changed the output. So if age is over 16, it's going to print yes, name is old enough to drive, and if it isn't, no, name isn't old enough to drive. Now name will be passed through here, and age will be passed through. I just set name to a string so that Python knows it's dealing with a string. So if I pass through a list or an integer, it won't work. And age, I'm passing in here. So let's just look. So it should return. Alright, well, let's just see what it runs. Is Jessica old enough to drive? Yes. Jessica, oops, there's no space there. But Jessica is old enough to drive. Because Jessica's age is 18, and 18 is above 16. Is Michael old enough to drive? No, Michael isn't old enough to drive because Michael's age is 15. So yeah, that's functions, and they're very useful.